The discovery of gold in the colonies of New South Wales and Victoria was monumental. It could easily be said that the growth of both colonies in terms of their economies, migration and wealth would not have occurred so rapidly in the next 10 years without the wealth that the gold brought. Hi, I'm Michael Beashall, Australian historical fiction writer. Now, gold discovery was of such criticality that we need to devote a number of videos to it, because just one, it doesn't do it justice. It was such an unbelievable event. So here in this video, we'll just talk about the discovery of gold and how it came to be. Edward Hargreaves is the man, and on the 12th of February 1851 near Guyong in Bathurst, New South Wales, he went to search for gold in the bed of Lewis Ponds Creek. Now, he was not new to prospecting and had just returned from California and its fabled gold rushes. And now there was a similarity in the geological districts of California and parts of New South Wales. He had an eye out, so he was an extraordinarily built man with vast appetites. Now, on the 12th of February, he did discover gold. And he wrote to the Colonial Secretary, Dees Thompson, with his news, and for his effort he demanded £500 for his labour. After returning from Sydney, without payment in May, he went back to Lewis Ponds Creek and with two other men named the area Ophir, after the biblical city which had accepted ships laden with gold. Hargreaves incorrectly said that he was acting on behalf of the New South Wales government, which of course he wasn't. So he was a bit cheeky that way. On the 15th of May, about 4 months later, 1851, the Sydney Morning Herald announced the discovery of an extensive gold field in the Wellington district of New South Wales. From the Herald newspaper again, crowds milled around the offices of the Bathurst mail coach to book a seat. Within 24 hours, 200 people set out for the diggings, some of them on foot, with their pots and their stocks of provisions laid across their backs. Now, within a week of that happening, the decline in street population of Sydney was visible. It was like an earthquake or a fire drill. One coachmaker lost 10 of his workmen. A tailor lost 7 to the diggings. An assistant to a veterinarian gave his employee the option of raising his pay, or he was off digging for gold. Anecdotes and apocryphal stories of the time abound, but it is fair to say that some diggers were fortunate enough to literally trip over nuggets lying on the ground. Others finding dust on the beds of streams, both of which required very little labour to collect. But more like all the others though, and the majority, they laboured long and hard for little return. Now, the gold discovery had grievous effects on other industries as well. You can imagine sucking all the labour out of all of them. One was the shepherds. They were deserting their stations and making for the diggings as fast as their legs or their horses could carry them. Sydney shops took on a whole new appearance with Californian hats, leather belts, diggers' boots and huge blankets hung outside the shops. Pavements were flooded with picks and pans and pots, and there was a street sign for gold shovels, special shovel I guess, swaying in the wind. Outside a digger's outfitter in George Street was the appearance of a Virginia cradle or a gold working machine, an indispensable tool for those seeking to dig. Now, such a mania infected the whole society. On the 24th of May, Ophir had 1,000 men at the diggings. Tents provided shelter for some, but crude assemblages of bark and wattle, thrown together with bits of everything, was the only primitive excuse to keep out the wind and the weather. Nor did the gold strike attract one particular class of society. It affected everyone, and they came from everywhere. According to the Bathurst Press, merchants, cabmen, sailors, magistrates, convicts, amateur gentlemen, cooks, lawyers, doctors of medicine and doctors of music, and even an ADC from Government House and a real live lord were all rockers of the cradle, and they were pick swingers. This was a snapshot at the effect of gold in New South Wales. The next 3 videos look at the effects of the gold strike on migration and the economy, and on society in general. That's all for me, Michael Beashall, for now. Thank you for for your watching and look forward to the next video.